Yo, it's all about realness. Ain't no time to dim that light. We were made to shine, so let's go. Oh, I gotta let it shine. No more dimming what's divine. I was born to be this way. Ain't no mask, no role to play.
Welcome back to the Blustrophecy. I'm Blue, and this is where I share my philosophy on divine alignment and authentic living, helping you step into your resonance with your true essence, liberating you from illusions and guiding you into transformational and intentional living. Today, let's uncover how our surroundings shape our journey, and let's recognize those who inspire us to embody our highest selves. My environment hinders my awakening with distractions and seemingly irritations or annoyances. This is why I hang up my affirmations all over my office and in the restroom to continually remind me. And this is the purpose of my vision board. This is the purpose of reading our goals journals daily and whatever else that you can incorporate into your environment to remind you of the mission and ascension. See, oneness with the divine infinite is vitally important to understanding divine alignment because that's what the ascension process is into. And it starts with our environment. See, our environment molds our thoughts, emotions, and energy. Ask yourself, does my environment reflect my authentic self? See, supportive environments, they foster clarity, creativity, and alignment. When you have a environment that's hindering, it's going to drain you of your energy, create self-doubt, and slow your progress. My wife's support and the lives of all of my children, my grandchildren, my nieces, my nephews, they all serve as an inspiration for me because it is my truest desire to transform the lineage of my bloodline into its empirical destiny. See, it's by becoming authentically me that we all break free from the dark forces that once haunted our DNA. See, the royal spark, it has been ignited. But also, my pastor, Reverend Rodney Pearson, he inspires me. The late, great Miles Monroe inspires me. Even Reverend Ike. Many sources of inspiration can be found for me because honestly, inspiration is easy for me to find. See, what is more significant than the inspiration, though, is the genuine self expression without any fear of judgment or fear of rejection. See, inspiration often comes to those who exemplify authenticity and courage. I want you to consider whose actions reflect resilience, integrity, and profound alignment with their purpose, and see if you find some inspiration there. You know, mentors who live their truth unapologetically, demonstrating courage through vulnerability and strength through their consistent action and alignment. My political awareness and interest. I have a passion for politics and activism, but I dim that light out of fear of not being able to reach those who I want to reach the most. You know, personally, I'm a conservative. I have many liberal ideals, Yet I mostly see myself as a theocratic believer, meaning do no harm, respect another's family and their property, accept responsibility for my own life. So obviously, I think a much smaller government with fewer regulations are better. And along with a short list of reasons, a much shorter list of reasons, I should say, for how our humanitarian rights, our God given rights, they're not man given, not man lent, a shorter list on how they can violate these and how they can be violated, beginning with the laws that invade my house walls and my property in general, extending to but not limited to the Patriot Act or the National Defense Authorization Acts, also known as the NDAA. See, many times I choose not to discuss politics because many of the people that I want to help have a limited or a different perspective about political facts. See, and then the fear of judgment or rejection, it often does cause me to shrink. So what we can do here, what I must do and what I'm going to recommend that you do if you have something similar is just identify situations where you find yourself compromising your authenticity to avoid discomfort, like I do when discussing politics, or should I say, avoiding the discussions of politics or political perspectives. See, when we think about our spiritual placement and where I am spiritually and how I see things spiritually, that's how I come up with my political position. See, these challenges where I'm faced with fear, thinking I won't be understood or that I may be alienated by a certain type of person means that I'm thinking stereotypical. I'm putting them in a group. And I'm thinking that everybody in this group feels the exact same way. And everybody in that group is going to judge me if I say this or believe this. And these types of things, they limit us. They limit us from growing and being successful and being authentic. And authenticity is required for alignment. And so, inevitably, we must deal with those times where we allow fear to cause us to hide or mask ourselves or not fully express how we really feel. Remember, we're supposed to be thinking, saying, and doing the same thing. This is integrity. So integrity is when what you think, what you say, and what you do are all the same thing. And so one must recognize and release these fears boldly and embrace the truth of your true essence. I use alarms at specific times of the day to help me realign. And I have alarms for time for reading my affirmations, like the one that just went off. I also have alarms that go off for mindfulness and meditation, because all of these processes are vital to the awakening and ascension process. We are in an internal battle with shadows and distractions, and therefore, the more present and intentional that we are, the more likely we can defeat our rulers. That is, our cognitive biases and limiting beliefs. See, sacred practices like meditation, mindfulness, journaling, and affirmations, they help us to anchor firmly into the present moment and to realign our mindset. What I recommend is that you begin each day with intentional journaling or a grounding meditation, because morning affirmations, they help me remind myself of my divine purpose and to set a clear, resonant intention for the day. Another strategy that I've picked up is I use Suno AI to create music, and I create playlists on Suno, which they remind me of who I am, of my goals, and they put me in the desired mindset. I'm not sure if it's the rebel or the hero. When I think of the way that I treat the rebel in me, it appears to be some type of disdain or even blame for many of my shortcomings. And then when I think about these thoughts and feelings, I see how they cause me to ignore or even restrain the hero part of me, where I'm scared to embrace the main character of my story and to finally become and finally realize all of my breakthroughs. See, it is this cycle of judgment and self destruction. They each both require my immense love and intention. See, even right now, I know that I could become more aware of my hurting hero and my misunderstood rebel. But right now, I'm more focused on completing this video and editing the video rather than to deal with these aspects and these ideas of how the love and attention that I failed to give to these unhealed areas of my psyche in each one of these aspects, how they need to be dealt with. And I must make the time to search out why I treat these aspects of myself like this, why I don't embrace them and give them the love and attention that they need so that they can heal. I need to explore self love through reflection. I need to identify the neglected emotional or spiritual areas of my life that are keeping me back. And if this sounds familiar, then make sure you ask yourself this question and you answer it as well. See, emotional resilience, giving myself compassion in moments of perceived shortcomings, when I practice increased self compassion and I replace self criticism with affirmations of understanding and kindness, I allow myself to heal and to overcome these seemingly not real ideals of myself, and I can love and embrace myself so that I can grow and become more authentically loving and caring of myself. Trusting in the unseen realms, intuition, divine guidance, spiritual realms, they deepen my journey by providing guidance and support through intuition and faith. See, trusting in the unseen realms opens new possibilities and insights that may not have been considered otherwise. See, one must learn to embrace uncertainty as fertile ground for growth and transformation, while simultaneously remaining confident in the unctions that they are acting upon and the path that they are treading. See, ultimately, it is this delicate balance that leads to true enlightenment and self discovery. See, one must develop a sense of trust and intuition in order to navigate the unknown with grace and resilience, discerning and learning, while also remaining accountable and flexible. You can't change the goal, but you must always be willing to adjust the strategy. Today, the message is to remember there is too much unknown to affirm any over certainty in many situations. There is power in embracing the unknown and being open to new possibilities. Remaining flexible in our growth and being willing to adapt to change will ultimately lead to personal transformation. When one becomes rigid and closed off to the unknown, they limit their potential for growth and for progress. And this includes the situations fueled by dogmas and doctrine. There are not any definites in our spiritual relationship with the divine, and anyone who tells you they figured it out with absolute certainty, they are lying to you, and they know it. Tune inwardly, connect with yourself more deeply, and learn to develop and trust your intuition. The answers you seek are within you. Listen actively to eternal messages rather than external validation, and you are going to be just fine. Trust yourself because deep down, you already know the truth. And as we bring today's reflection to a close, I invite you to pause and consider just how much influence your environment and inspirations truly carry. The spaces we dwell in, physically, mentally, and spiritually, they are not neutral. They are either nourishing our divine becoming or slowly draining the essence from it. So ask yourself, what in my world affirms the truth of whom I'm becoming? What needs to be shifted, rearranged, or released? And when it comes to inspiration, remember, it's not about finding perfect people to admire. It's about recognizing reflections of your own potential. Those who stir something up within you. Say they are reminding you of what's already alive within you, ready to come out, ready for you to shine it. Remember, there's a hero in all of us. We often dim our light, not because we're unsure of our brilliance, but because we fear how others will receive it. But let this be the moment when you stop asking for permission. Let this be the moment when you give yourself full access to live inspired, live aligned, and live free. See, as always, I'm going to be here walking this path of divine alignment and authentic living right here on the YouTube channel, Aligned and Awakened. Let your sacred practices be your anchors. Let your intuition be your compass, and let your courage be fueled by the knowledge of the divine energy that rests within you. See, you are more than your past, you are greater than your doubts, and you are worthy of embodying the highest version of yourself. You are a powerful, creative, spiritual being. So until next time, I want you to stay aligned, stay awakened, and stay elevated. And remember, I'm Blue, and this is the Blustrophecy, and I'll see you on the next episode.
Yo, it's all about realness. Ain't no time to dim that light. We were made to shine, so let's go. Oh, I gotta let it shine. No more dimming what's divine.